that I am really passionate about bringing a lot of attention to is the realities of non-physical abuse. I've talked a lot about this in pretty much all of my platforms on all social media and in multiple videos before. Not to take away from anyone who's experienced physical abuse, I've been there too. But there are so many people that have reached out to me that have said, oh my gosh, Karleigh, I wish you would just hit me so I could leave. I wish you would just put a hole in the wall so that way I would have a reason to call it abuse. And what a lot of people don't get is that non-physical abuse not only exists, but we got to call it out for what it is: abuse. Something in particular that I find extremely important to discuss is this idea of reactive abuse. However, I do hesitate to talk a lot about it because I don't have a safe option for when it comes to how to respond. Unfortunately, these situations are a lot stickier than a lot of people understand. But as survivors and for people that have never experienced this, it is extremely important to be aware of what's happening and what's going on. If you haven't experienced this, you can support someone who is going through it. And if you have gone through this, I want you to be able to go, oh my gosh, okay, yes, that's what it was. I'm not crazy. I'm not broken. If this is your first time hanging out, welcome. My name is Karleigh Saunders. I'm a confidence and abuse recovery coach. I am someone who has been in the depths of abusive relationships, been in the depths of not wanting to be alive, crawling my way out and finding freedom on the other side. And now I am dedicated to walking you through that process because, boo, you deserve freedom. So what's reactive abuse anyway? As a whole, reactive abuse is when they poke and prod at you in order to get a response out of you so they can say, hey, I told you she was crazy. Hey, I told you this was all him. Look at what I have to put up with. This can present itself in multiple different situations. This can be done in private as a form of gaslighting. This is where they poke and prod and poke and prod, and they say the right things, they do the right things little by little, where someone on the outside wouldn't think it's that big of a deal. But it's just because you are human, and eventually you are going to react. You may scream, you may yell, you may be the one who picks up something and throws it across the room. This is where they can look at you and go, do you see how crazy you are? Do you see what you put me through? Do you see what I have to put up with? This is done in an attempt to get you to think that you don't have any sanity left. This could also be done in public. There's a certain thing that when it's said, it really gets to you. Or maybe you shared a private thing with them and they bring it up when y'all are in a group setting, where maybe you feel very sensitive about your body image. And when you guys are together, y'all are out eating dinner, he texts you and says, are you sure you should be eating that? You know, I thought you wanted to lose weight. And it may be that thing that sends you over the edge. Or it may be that thing that causes you to shrink and no longer participate in group discussion. This could be the thing that causes you to withdraw or to react in public. Another example, something that I experienced personally, is maybe you're at a big group function, you're at a big party, and y'all are on opposite ends of the room. But because he knows, she knows, they know exactly what to do to get to you, they text you something. They text you something small to where if someone was reading over your shoulder, they wouldn't know that it was the thing that sends you over the edge, but it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. So that way you react in front of all of these people and everyone gets to see your quote unquote unreasonable reaction. And then they got to go, oh my gosh, she's losing it again. Come on, we got to get going. Oh my gosh, do you see? Like, this is what I have to deal with. I love her so much that I put up with this. Little things like this are what constitute reactive abuse. When it comes to providing education around these topics, I truly want to provide step by step. I want to tell you how to react or how to not react, to tell you the best step, to tell you how to fight back. But unfortunately, this is one of those cases where there really isn't a win, because my gut reaction is to say, don't respond. Don't give them the benefit of seeing your reaction. And overall, this is the umbrella of advice that I would give. However, there's a caveat here. By not giving a response, the abuser may end up angry and they can lash out. This is something that I experienced personally when I was 17 years old. I began to catch on to what was going on. I began to realize, oh my gosh, he's baiting me. And when I stopped taking the bait, he got angry. Because he didn't get the reaction that he wanted, he lashed out. And it did turn into a physical altercation. The reason that I bring this up is because this is extremely important to be aware of. You do not know if someone is ever going to become physical. If you are in this situation and you hear this and you go, oh my gosh, yes, I've been there. My boyfriend does this to me. My girlfriend does this to me. My spouse does this to me. My partner has been doing this for so long. It's time to take those steps to get out. Because one, you do not deserve to be manipulated. You do not deserve to be pushed around and pulled and gaslit and emotionally abused just to give someone else a high of satisfaction knowing that they could do that to you. You deserve better, and it's time to get out. And now that you are armed with this information, now that you know what's going on, please tread carefully. There's no real winning when it comes to reactive abuse. So you may be sitting there going, Karleigh, why should I be aware then if I can't do anything to fight back? The best thing that you can do to fight back in this situation is to begin to get out. I understand, especially if there are kids involved, that this may take longer than you would like. I did a podcast interview the other day where this woman reached her breaking point. She was lying on the floor covered in bruises, and she realized that she couldn't do this anymore. And it took her 2 months after that day to get out and to find freedom and to get help. So I understand that this is easier said than done, and I understand that it's not as easy as just leave. But I want you to start taking those steps. I want you to start planning ahead. Figure out, okay, I realize now that this is what's happening to me. What do I need to do to get out? What do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do? What's my first step? If you cannot do research on your own computer for fear of your browser history being seen, go to a local library. Maybe phone a friend. If you need to set up a Google Voice account that's private, that they won't be able to find, and use that phone number to call a domestic violence support center. Go to find a battered women's shelter that's going to help you out. But now that you're aware, you can take that next step forward. Just take it one step at a time. If you have any questions about this, feel free to comment below, or if you want to keep it private, send me a DM over on Instagram at karleigh.lynn. I will make sure I have that linked as well as other resources in the show description. Now that you are aware of reactive abuse, after this video, you're going to find a playlist that's going to walk you through gaslighting 101. And I highly recommend you watch that, because if you recognize reactive abuse in your life, I can guarantee you that gaslighting is a problem as well. Heck, you may even be gaslighting yourself. So go watch that playlist. Trust me, you're going to be grateful that you did. Never forget that you are strong, you are capable, you are intelligent, and boo, you are so freaking worthy.